Leader of Government Business.
And I rise to speak in response to this proposed amendment by the member for Gwaja regarding the Portable Long Service Leave Community Services Sector Repeal Bill 2025 Serial 18. Madam Speaker, it's a bit rich coming from Labor when we talk about scrutiny committees because, as we just heard from the Leader of the Opposition, she said that she's never seen omnibus legislation sent to scrutiny. And let me just remind the House the reasons why. Because in 2020, the Labor government, which the Leader of the Opposition was part of, actually scrapped scrutiny committees. So to say that she's never seen that taken to a scrutiny committee, the reason is because there was no scrutiny committee. There was no scrutiny committee between 2020 and 2024.
Minister, take your seat.
That's why she's never seen it.
Take your seat, please, Minister. What's your point of order?
Standing Order 38, the member for Berkeley is misleading the parliament. I said I've been a member for 9 years and we did have scrutiny committees 4 years before that, before you entered parliament, member for Berkeley, with your 5-vote win.
Okay, so I'm just going to reflect just from my own curiosity. Irrelevance or tedious repetition is Standing Order 38. I'm not sure you got that number right, Leader of the Opposition, but I take your point, but the Minister has the call.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And I was talking about the period between 2020 and 24 because this is what the Leader of Opposition doesn't want us to talk about, because she was part of that government that scrapped the scrutiny committee back in 2020, and there was no scrutiny committees between 2020 and 24. Madam Speaker, the legislation that we're talking about today was introduced by the former Labor government in their dying days. That's the reality of this bit of legislation, Madam Speaker. Labor introduced it in the dying days of their government, trying to woo voters. There was no plan to actually introduce the legislation. I suspect that they probably had the same information that we have, and that they would have had to rely on a Treasury loan to cover its set-up costs, which we've estimated between $4 and $12 million. I suspect Labor was in possession of that same information. That's why they never did anything to introduce and well, they introduced the legislation, but it sat on the table and they failed to implement it, simply because of the costs involved. What we have been told is that childcare centres across the Territory have told us the scheme will cost an extra $50,000 extra a year, and that cost would be directly passed on to parents in the form of increased fees. So these are the issues, Madam Speaker. This is a repeal bill. The Labor and the opposition over there can carry on about this and go on about it. The reason it's going on the table for 28 days and it'll be debated at the next parliament.
Silence, please.
What they're actually asking for is this to go to scrutiny so somebody else can do their work. What they're asking for is somebody else to do the work that they should be doing. This is an opportunity for every member in this House to get out and talk to your constituents. Stop abrogating your responsibility. Stop arguing that it should go to a scrutiny committee because you just don't want to do your job. Get out there and find out for yourself. You'll be told exactly what we've been told, that the cost of implementing this will be $50,000 for childcare. That'll be passed on to consumers. You knew that would have cost between $4 and $12 million to actually implement this legislation.
Member for Goyder, you have a point of order. I can guess what it is.
Point of order number 20, and I've got the correct number. No interruption of debate. I would love to hear what the member for Berkeley is saying, and we could have some respect in this chamber. It would be lovely.
After the experience we all had last night, leaving here at around 1:30, it's a bit early in the day for me to warn people. So, Opposition Leader, I know you feel passionate about it, but please listen to the Minister in silence.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I noticed that the clock continued there, so I think
we'll give
about
you another minute or so.
Another minute or so. I think I was just getting to the fact that, just to remind the House that Labor did nothing. They introduced the legislation, did nothing to implement it because they knew, as well as what we do, that this would have cost somewhere between $4 and $12 million to actually implement. And an impost, yeah, exactly, and an impost of 20 million on the sector. But as I was saying, 28 days, next Parliament, it's an opportunity for each member here to go out and talk to the sector, find out for yourselves about what the sector is saying about this, come back to the House. There will be a debate about this legislation when it comes up for debate at the next Parliament. That's your opportunity to have a say about it. Scrutiny is not going to deliver what you expect because this is a repeal bill. It's not about suggesting changes. This is a straight-out repeal of legislation that'll be in the House at our next Parliament. Speak to your constituents, bring the feedback back, and we'll discuss it then. Madam Speaker.
Silence.
Madam Speaker, you can tell that they're upset about this. They know that they've been caught out. They know that bringing in this legislation 3 months before an election without any funding to support it, they know that they've been caught out. That's why they're angry. Madam Speaker, we do not support the legislation. We won't be supporting that amendment. And I think, Madam Speaker,
Leader,
all I'm hearing is the Leader for Opposition constantly interjecting. Madam Speaker, in closing, we do not support the amendment.